Alright, who's good potato spindly? That's ominous. You may have noticed I changed the setting and lighting for this. I just want this to be more of a one-on-one sort of thing as opposed to me being like uh, separated from the camera, being all dramatic. Winston, if you knock this down, I'm gonna fucking bitch slap. I will straight up. I'm gonna have to purge, motherfucker. I'm getting some pretty intense weather here. So, The Purge. Each film really shows a different aspect. It moves from kind of an upper class stance to lower and middle class, and then it shows more of a political stance of the world. Uh, you'll see a lot of differences in films. For example, at the end of the first movie, the moment the siren signaling the end of the purge went off, um, the first thing you will hear is sirens. You'll hear ambulances, police officers responding. Um, but at the end of the second movie, when you're in sort of a normal neighborhood, let's just see. This is the shit that I hate when he does this. I fucking despise it with a burning passion of a million suns. When you're in a sort of relatively suburban neighborhood, uh, you're not going to hear the sirens. You have to drive to the hospital. That's a pretty big separation of class. You know, they'd rather clean up the wealthy neighborhood than just take care of things in the street. You also notice that during the purge, there will be people running around with trucks and bullhorns, just going ahead and collecting bodies, making sure that they can keep the streets clean. Some hospitals actually have armorized vans for the purge in order to give medical assistance to anyone who happens to be caught in it. Um, you start seeing a lot of very small details. Um, Whenever you actually look at the government setup, the purge didn't really succeed in weeding out the homeless. It didn't succeed in improving conditions or lessening the populace that is out of work. I can't. Words aren't really coming to me. I'm tired, and my voice is finally rested, so I might jump into Resident Evil 4 here in a second. Um, which I think I'm already on episode 20 something or 30 something. Anyway, they have improved international commerce. They have given the economy kind of a booming standpoint and raised prices for specific weapon distributors. That's their main profit, is selling guns, ammo, and security. Um, they stabilized the nation by uniting them through a really twisted faith. Uh, there's better ways to go about it, and you see it. There's some pretty traumatic experiences. Now, the reason I like the third one, and when I say that they gave it a certain level of creativity, um, the psychopaths were far more colorful. Um, they were driving cars completely lit with Christmas lights. Some of them would just sit there and have an entire playlist going. And at the end of the playlist, they play games. They really went all out with the outfits. They really went all out with the styles of killing. Whereas the first one was really people just shooting. Second one, people just shooting. This one, they played a lot of mind games. They had a lot of interesting tools. Now, the big thing, and this is covering the entire trilogy. I'm right now, I'm kind of spotting small things I want to talk about in previous reviews. Winston, I will fucking kill you. I will purge. Purge. Yeah, I like teasing that cat. He hears a lot of noises and he gets excited. But no, this trilogy really did kind of what a series of movies is supposed to do. It presents you with an idea. It introduces you to the world. And it gives you a lot of names and topics, people, places, things. And it builds on those over the course of the trilogy or whatever the length of the franchise is going to be. It introduces you to this world and slowly explains everything. It gets you invested. It gets you attached to specific characters. Like Leo. Leo was in the second one. He never appeared in the first because it focused on a single family and a single house. But Leo was kind of a constant throughout the last two of the trilogy. He was kind of the main badass that helped people out. You could see this very colorful character arc between both movies, where he went from just someone in pain to someone who started wanting to see the purge end. It was interesting seeing him go from bloodthirsty to somewhat remorseful, and then trying to find a way to push for the closing of it. This every film interlocks beautifully. Um, Now, it may not have the best plot, it may not be the most grounded, and honestly, the consistency is really not there. Consistency's almost not there at all. Um, Difference in years, different in specs, difference in representation of the new founding fathers, and ways that the Purge is actually acted out. It varies from movie to movie, uh, and some of this is actually pretty hackneyed and stilted. But looking at how they threw it together, looking at how they did their best to keep everything kind of interlocking, even though they wanted to change things up and the budget allowed them to do things that they wanted to do previously that they really couldn't get away with. Um, for giving those things, I'm going to give the trilogy overall 3 potatoes. That's one for each movie. I feel that the premise and just the evolution of it really signifies that, but I also feel that there's a lot of gooey stuff that, the little gore bits that we missed in the previous movies that they were able to kind of bring out with the third one. You also saw a little bit of that satirical humor that was initially going to be the Purge. Um, it's well rounded, but it's not the best thing. And the only movie that is rewatchable in my eyes is the third one. The first one's relatively boring. You know what happens. The second one, I just didn't fucking like it. It was one of those things where it's like, here's a straight line, follow it. But the third one, it's colorful and active enough to really get you in there. This is gonna get 3 potatoes, because of the amount of inconsistencies, but it's very stable. It's very likable your first time through it, and honestly, I feel like they could have done better. But I'm actually relatively pleased with what they had to offer. What would you personally rate this entire trilogy? Have you enjoyed it? Have you watched any of it? Are you planning on it? Go ahead and post that in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on. And I kept my fucking promise, motherfuckers. It took a while, but I did.